This week on the StressLess Camping RV podcast, we talk with Joel Holland from Harvest Host.
If you haven't heard, the Escapees RV Club is now part of the Harvest Host family of companies. So we found out what's new, what's different, and what's going to happen now with Escapees.
We're also going to check out a new Brinkley travel trailer.
I'm Tony.
I'm Peggy.
And we're two RV industry veterans who travel part-time.
In a small trailer pretty soon.
Yeah, it's true. Looking to share big adventures and help you with great tips,
tricks,
and discounts.
We're not there yet, but we will be picking up our small travel trailer, and then I can stop making him laugh by modifying the intro.
Well, and we are going to pick it up in advance of the Frog Rally,
right,
which is in August in Indiana. So if you're going to be there,
we'll see you there.
Yeah, we'll be kind of right out in front with a flag there and all that good stuff. So come meet us. And we're giving 3 seminars.
We are giving 3 seminars. Yep.
So that's something that started within the past 10 years.
It is. I mean, 10 years is, a lot of things can happen in 10 years.
Isn't that the truth?
Isn't it the truth? We'll talk later about the question of the week from last week, and we asked about what's going on in your life from 10 years ago. And I started to write an answer on Facebook, and then I realized I got way too many words. And I don't know if Facebook has a lifetime limit, but I thought I might meet it. So instead, I put it on our website. I kind of did a little synopsis of each year in the last 10, kind of the big changes that we went through. And so if you want to give it a read, that is at StressLessCamping.com.
Yeah, and if you're watching this on video, there will be a QR code. Bing! And you can just scan that and it'll take you right there.
All right.
Well, we've talked to a lot of people, and Joel, this week we're talking with Joel from Harvest Host, and one of the requirements of being a member of Harvest Host is to have a self-contained RV.
Right.
Now that can, as long as there's basically a kitchen and a bathroom in it, you're covered. We spec'd out our travel trailer specifically so we could stay at more Harvest Host, because it's not just a savings, but also a better experience.
Yeah, so many good experiences.
It's not just about saving the money. And one of the things that we did was we wanted a really good solar and lithium battery system. And, we talk about ABC Upfitters every week and encourage you to give them a call if you have questions about this. But one of the things that I've found is there are a lot of solar installers out there, right? Solar and lithium system.
Sure.
And usually they install a system and then it's like, all right, see you later. That's not true of ABC Upfitters. They have, for example, a really excellent Facebook group where people who have had installs from them can go and they ask questions, and some of the answers are just these expert level, outstanding answers, because the people from ABC Upfitters who know these systems and build them and spec them out, they're there to answer your questions.
Right.
So if you have been solar curious or lithium curious and you want a company that's actually going to intelligently answer your questions, that's just another good reason to call our friends at ABC Upfitters, and you can do so at 574-333-3225.
And by the way, congratulations, Kathy and Steve. You're going to be one of the newest members of the ABC Upfitters Club.
I didn't realize that they had officially...
Kathy just told me today.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah,
they met at the Mini Light Rally.
Yes.
In Texas?
Nope.
No,
in Michigan.
Michigan. And Ben and Scott were there. And so that's pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're all going to have to go boondocking.
That's right. So we are speaking to Joel Holland today from Harvest Hosts with the news of Harvest Host's acquisition of Escapees. One thing that we think that we did cover, but we want to make sure we really, really make sure people hear this part of the message. You will not have to be a member of Harvest Host in order to become a member of Escapees.
Right.
Now, I think Joel says that But even if he does say it, I'm going to say it again, because I know that when the news broke and I was in the escapees groups, that was one of a few. And Joel, I asked Joel these questions, but some questions that came up in Facebook groups and places that people were concerned about. So make sure you get that message and all these other messages that Joel is going to give us right now.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, happy campers. I thought I'd try something this week. I'm always fiddling around while I'm editing these videos. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun, instead of seeing our mugs big, kind of like what you're forced to do now, instead I'm going to put Joel and us in little screens and put as a background some of the Harvest hosts, Boondockers Welcome, and those kind of and escapees experiences that we have. And I'm going to start with this clip from the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, which we were able to attend through Escapees. But anyway, thank you. Hopefully you like this. I'm always experimenting. And so, well, without any further ado, let's go to the Balloon Fiesta, because this is cool.
Today we are super excited and pleased to welcome back Joel Holland. He has been on the podcast before, and he is the CEO of Harvest Host. And Joel, thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Well, thanks for having me back. I appreciate that. It's always fun. Always fun to talk about RVing, and always fun to catch up with you guys, because I feel like we have a lot of common experiences out there.
Right.
Yes, we do.
Right.
And I heard some buzz or rumor, there's something exciting happening at Harvest Host. Can you tell us a little about that?
Yes. So the big news this week has kind of been, a while in the works, but Harvest Host has acquired the Escapees Camping Club, and we're taking over the membership section. Mel and Travis are going to continue running mail servicing, mail forwarding, and the campgrounds. But everything member related is now part of Harvest Hosts, which is very exciting because, Escapees is just a wonderful, wonderful group, wonderful brand, 46 years old, third generation. It's the spirit of RVing. And I've loved it, right? I've attended Escapees events. I've been a member for a long time. And when we saw an opportunity to kind of put the two organizations together, I jumped at it because I think it's a great, great fit.
That's one of the things I really like about Harvest Host is it is camping people. There's a lot of times we talk to people in the RV industry and they don't RV, and it's kind of confusing how they can presume what we want out of a camping life. And knowing that you camp and we've camped with you, and Harvest Host is very much into that kind of thing. So we love that it's, we don't feel like the spirit of Escapees is lost.
Exactly. And that is, our first number one goal with any acquisition. And this is the sixth company we've purchased to try to put together just a better camping organization. But our first rule is kind of the Hippocratic Oath: do no harm. And so, the first thing we're going to do with Escapees is nothing. We're really going to take our time. We're going to get to know the company, how it works. We hired all 15 employees that were related to the RV Club. So they're now officially part of Harvest Hosts, full-time employees over here. They know what they're doing. They're great, right? They've been doing this for years. And so my goal is not to interfere. It's just to learn and then learn how we can help, right? Get to know more of the members and just ask them what would make the club better for you. And that's the same thing I've been doing at Harvest Host for 6 years. As a member, but also talking to other members. It's just figuring out, how do I make this organization more useful, more fun, more valuable to those of us that are actually camping.
Well, we've been with you through other transitions. We interviewed the creator of Boondockers Welcome almost at the very beginning of our podcast.
Right.
And now that's part of Harvest Hosts. And I've seen the integration actually provide a better product and service.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, and that's been 3 years. 3 years that Boondockers Welcome has been part of the program. And yeah, I'm glad to hear that because we have more hosts now, right? We have more members visiting the hosts, which is really fun. So Boondockers Welcome is really much more heavily focused on community, and which I think Escapees is as well. And I think community is just a huge part of RVing, and it's a huge part of what we're trying to build in general at Harvest Hosts. And I kind of say now that we have Boondockers Welcome and Escapees, we have camping and community. Right, and those are two really large pillars, really unique places to stay, and then really great people to meet.
Or how did this all kind of fall into place?
Yeah, you know, it really started by just getting to know Travis and Mel, and you know, I've known them for a few years now, and I like to stay in touch with everyone in the industry. Right, I like all the different companies in our industry. I try to have chats with the operators of everything. Right, I just love that. And we partner with a lot of organizations. You've probably seen that. Like Harvest Hosts is like Switzerland. We're just friends with everybody. And we like to do cross promotions with everybody. We just try to support the whole RV ecosystem. And so as part of that, I'd gotten to know Travis and Mel, became an Escapees member, attended events. And I just always really liked the spirit of the program, which to me was a community membership. And in the last couple of years, you know, I just kind of started floating this idea to them of, hey, if you guys are ever interested in, you know, moving on to the next thing or finding someone to try to pick up the baton and take it to the next level, I think it could be an interesting fit. And so we had kind of like talked about it around the edges, and then those talks just got more serious this year. And we ended up finding a really good arrangement that benefited kind of both organizations, right? And they are going to continue running the mail servicing, which is a very important program. It's one of the largest. It's one of the most affordable. And our members, our Escapees members, will continue getting the discount that they've always, you know, relied on with the mail servicing. So nothing changes there. And then they'll continue running their campgrounds, which I know nothing about. So I was like, hey, great. I you know, I don't need to run campgrounds. You guys, you know, keep doing it. God bless you. I'm all about the membership. So I think we're both now focusing on pieces that we're good at, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, you're sort of almost the anti-campground. Not really, but you know, it's, Harvest Hosts is just such a great alternative to the campground experience. And our last RV, our current RV rather, was specifically bought so that we could take advantage of Harvest
absolutely.
Hosts. I mean, the whole thing was really intended to go to Harvest Hosts, and we have had some great experiences.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. No, yeah, I'm glad to hear that. And I love that manufacturers, it feels like they're getting better about putting features into RVs that make boondocking even easier. Right, like our most recent fifth wheel that we just purchased, a Brinkley, it came with pre-installed solar on the roof. Awesome, right? Like rigs for a long time have become like pre-wired, which is like also pre-useless. But this one actually put the solar up there, and it was perfect. So like, yeah, rigs are. I feel like RVers in general are waking up to this idea that they can do both: go to campgrounds, plug in, you know, of course, and then also get out in the wild and disconnect and use the RV as God intended it, as I like to say.
Yeah.
That's now. See, I could just. You said Brinkley, and I could just totally go off on a tangent. So Peggy's going to have to keep.
Had to reel him in.
She's
like,
going to have
wait
to
a
reel
minute.
me in. But
That's for another day.
Yeah, that company has really made a name for itself.
Yeah.
So are there any big changes that Escapees members? I know there's a lot of buzz on the internet, and I mean, a lot of people dislike change, and there's a lot of things being thrown about. So how, if as an Escapees member, which we are, how will this affect our membership? Will the price go up? Will there be any big notable changes?
No, there's no changes. I mean, I always think it's so funny. The internet's such a funny place, and people who I feels like the people who get on social media, it's like the most misinformed people like to have the loudest opinions. And I've never
Right.
understood that. I tend to just not read that stuff because it's just so ridiculous. But the only thing that I said in the announcement is we're not going to make any changes. And like the only thing people talk about is all the changes they think I'm going to make. It's like, it's just comical to me. We're not raising the price. We're not changing events. We're not smushing the two memberships together. Like everything's staying separate as we get to know the organization. And then, like I said, over time, I want to find ways to make it better. And so using Harvest Host as an example, my main goal is to come in and improve the technology at first. It was make it easier for people to find places to stay. And we built an app, then we built a booking system, and then we expanded the host network from 600 locations to over 5,000. And I think those two things made the experience a lot better for members. Now with Escapees, I have no preconceived notions of what we need to do to make it better. This is where I'm going to ask members. But the organization's been around for 45 years, so I'm not going to come in with a quick fix because there's nothing broken.
Right.
I, of course, I lean towards wanting to make the technology better. Like, I mean, if you've gone to the website and used the system to buy tickets to events or signed up for a membership, it's not the easiest, right? I mean, that's probably one of the places I'll try to make it better. But again, none of these things are in a hurry. So I think everyone can kind of rest assured that I'm only going to make a change once I confirm with members that it's going to be good for them. And my goal at the end of the day is to make both the basically 70,000 Escapees members and the 250,000 Harvest Host members, just both of them are going to come out better is the goal on the board. I mean, that's literally that's our scoreboard. After a year, I want to pull them and say, are you better off because of this? And I'm pretty confident that both sides are going to say yes, because we have some cool ideas for how we can make it better for everybody, give them more value, and this is not by trying to extract more money out of them, by the way.
Well, having known you for years and seen how your the way you operate, I would completely concur. This is your MO. Is you come in and you just wait and see how things could be polished, but not completely changed. Like Boondockers Welcome is so much easier to use now than it used to be, and Harvest Host is better too. And as you said, there's 5,000 hosts now. I mean, the experiences that we've had have been, the unique experiences we've gotten from places has been really mostly terrific, and definitely, in my opinion, better than a lot of campgrounds.
Yeah, it's great, and and that's the goal. And we haven't raised prices at Harvest Host for over 3 years now, right? And this is in a 3-year period where inflation went nuts and everybody raised prices, and we kind of intentionally didn't do that because I feel like campers are getting hit from every angle with higher prices, and so I thought, it is a bit frustrating when I read comments of oh, they're going to raise price. It's like we've literally done the opposite of that. We've bucked the trend of every single company out there and not raised prices for 3 years. We're not going to start doing it now once we bought this company. That's just not the roadmap.
I know another kind of big concern that people have had, and I'm pretty positive your answer is no. You are not going to. Let me back up just a little bit. Harvest Host and Boondockers Welcome, because you're staying on someone's property without any kind of hookups, you're required to have a self-contained rig. And Escapees members are afraid that that's going to become a requirement. And some of them have vans or something that aren't self-contained. And that's not true, right? That's not going to become a requirement of being an Escapee.
No, of course not, because it's not a requirement to make the program work well. The reason it's a requirement for Harvest Host and Boondockers Welcome is the bathroom problem, right? I mean, these private properties and these businesses, they don't have facilities for people to use after hours for the most part, and we can't have people peeing on the ground. That's frowned upon. And that would be, and if they're peeing, then we'd be lucky, right? Like that would be the better of the two options. So. But of course, with Escapees, that's not a problem. So no, that's interesting. That's the first time I've heard of that concern. No, that is not an issue at all.
Well, one of the funny things that I saw, unfortunately, our role is that we have to spend a lot of time on social media, and I mean, there's as anything, there's a good and a bad to that. But one of them said, "This is frustrating because Harvest Host owners are not campers," and I'm like, "Dude, I've camped with Joel."
Well, like I said in the beginning, a lot of times that's true in the RV industry. Owners or whatever are not RVers, and they don't understand the needs and the wants and the desires of RVers, and that is just not true in this case.
Yeah,
That's right. I own 3 RVs and I use them all the time. we almost, we're bigger RVers than most RVers. And and that's, by the way, that's very helpful. Like that's why I got into this industry in the first place, was out of a passion for RVing. And what makes it really easy to make product decisions is that I'm usually solving for like my needs, for my family's needs.
Yeah.
And in the case of Escapees, like we're looking for more community and we want more events and we want, just great places to go. We already have great places to stay. And so the event side was kind of the next exciting piece. But yeah, almost all these things come from a personal need because we camp so much.
That says it all right there.
Yeah.
So since we're talking also about Harvest Hosts, what new things, or you had said 5,000 hosts. I didn't realize it had gotten that many.
Yeah.
But anything new to share from that side of the coin?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, the host network now, I think, I'll give you an accurate number. I think I know it's over 5,500, which is awesome. And one of the new categories, there's a lot of new categories. We basically had our host recruiting team focusing on getting host locations in more Midwest areas, because we've seen there's a lot more demand out in the Midwest, and also near highways. We have 40% of our hosts are actually within like 5 or 10 miles of a highway, so it's pretty good. But we're actually looking at where our members are traveling and looking for those hot spots and intersections and roads and trying to fill in any gaps that we have. And so our model of recruiting hosts has changed from let's just grab everybody who's great to let's grab hosts that are great, but also in like really great areas that have more demand that we haven't yet filled. And also with really unique categories. And so one of the categories we added this year is drive-in movie theaters. And it's been awesome. Like we started with like 1 or 2. They were so popular. We now have over 30 drive-in movie theaters. And I stayed at one actually on our last RV trip 2 months ago to Virginia. We did a cross-country trip, stayed in Marion, Virginia at a drive-in movie theater. It was awesome. Like watched a new release movie from the rig. My daughter's running around outside. Everything about it was perfect.
Excuse me, I got to go plan a trip right now.
Totally. Like the nostalgic throwback of the outdoor movie theater combined with the comfort of your RV. Oh my goodness. So it's been fun adding these new categories.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of thing. It's always you are always improving on what the customer experience is. That's been our experience the whole time.
Yeah.
So we stayed at a Harvest Host. Where was that with the pigs?
That was in Iowa, the Meadow something farm.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Anyway, the cool thing is they had all these little pigs that were really cute. But by gosh, they taste good.
Oh boy.
Because they'd sell you them too.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's a tough way to sell the product. Sometimes you don't want to look your meal in the eye.
So I want to share our as Boondockers welcome hosts. We actually have 2 Boondockers coming tonight, 2 different rigs. And we have someone coming on Thursday who stayed with us when we lived in California, and reached out and said, "Hey, I'm coming to Albuquerque, so can I come and stay there?"
That is awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's neat too. And I want to, as a separate conversation, I want to really dive into Boondockers Welcome with you because I feel like we're doing. It's nice to hear that you're having good experience with it. We're growing that network and we're trying to give more tools and always trying to improve that experience. But again, if you read social media, some people say we're not doing a good job of Boondockers Welcome, which kind of bums me out. It's always hard for me to know how to cut through the noise of like who are just annoying people that want to spout nonsense and who's actually right. And look, I am a believer that you can always make things better. So we're always striving to improve. So as a side note, I would love to get your input on how we can make Boondockers Welcome better, because we tend to use the Harvest Host name, like that's our brand. Boondockers Welcome is a part of it, but I don't ever mean to like do a disservice to Boondockers Welcome by simply using our core brand name. That's just the umbrella.
Right.
Well, I mean, it works so well. For example, one of the two who are coming tonight had to run late, and you get, they notify you through the system. So you don't give your personal information, although they obviously know where you live, but you don't give your personal information. Then you get a pop-up on your smartphone or tablet in our case, and it just works very well to me.
We'll have another call. We'll talk, in a different time.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it seems like a really well-oiled machine. The way from our experiences, host, and also we have used Boondockers Welcome as guests. Yeah. Mm-hmm. In fact, great. The first time I ever tried Starlink was at a Boondockers Welcome. One of the hosts had a Starlink dish, and he goes, "Hey, if you want to hop on, go for it." And I did. Oh my gosh, it was so
exciting.
Fast.
What a game changer. My goodness. Like rarely are there absolute game changers that come to our camping. Starlink was one of those. Just
for sure.
Phenomenal. Yeah. That's neat. Well, so look, I would say also to anybody listening, kind of on the same note, if you use any of our programs and you have feedback or comments, we love hearing them because we actually use them. We use Slack. We now have over 80 full-time employees. We love talking about the comments people submit on what they want to see changed. We discuss those. We try to then like quantify them in some way, right? So if you're going to make suggestions, like please make it a specific, actionable suggestion, not vague, because vague's tough to work with.
Right. Hey, you should fix everything.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, everything's broken. I hate it. Lower your price. You're twice as much as Good Sam. I hate you. Right? That's not helpful.
Man.
Well, anything else that we didn't think to cover about the escapees?
No, I think, look, this is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, I think that's the first part. All the escapees employees, as of today, are now officially onboarded in our company. And so I'm excited to start to get to know them all personally. I've, of course, worked with a number of them over the years, but now we get to start learning. So our employees will learn from them and learn what makes escapees work. And then we'll dive in with members, just like we do with Harvest Host members. We'll survey, we'll do one-on-one interviews, just really start learning the organization in a way that I've never understood it. And I think from that, we'll figure out what people want us to improve. And there's no rush. I mean, again, this has been around for 45, 46 years, and nothing needs to change overnight because nothing's broken. It's got a good soul.
Yeah.
I think anybody that's used escapees or is a member, it's just got a great soul. And so we're not going to change the soul of the program.
Well,
Awesome.
That's very encouraging, and we really appreciate you making time, because I'm sure you have nothing else going on right now.
No, I love this. I mean, this is the fun part of my job. This is the best part is just talking about what we're working on and talking to people who are members. I mean, that's also a blast. So thanks for having me back, and hopefully we get to camp together again soon.
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
I got to check out that Brinkley, and love to hear how you like it, because those guys, well, I shouldn't say guys, those people are campers. They actually camp in their rigs before they release them. So
they're great. Yeah, I mean, the long story short is we love the Brinkley. We got the Z3610, so it's bigger than anything we've ever owned. It's like I feel like I'm basically driving a semi-trailer with that thing. But, on the other end, we have a nice New Camp 820 truck camper. So when we're trying to go places that are smaller and we just don't need all the room because we don't have the whole family and the pets, it's a lot of fun to go way short, and then it feels amazing. But no, Brinkley's been incredible, and I think, like you said, they just keep taking my generalization for it, because I think this is our third or fourth RV company now. They basically build a great product, figure out what people love, but then figure out how to make it even better the next time. And they just keep doing that. And like this unit has all these little tiny features like pre-installed solar, like a self-retractable 50-foot hose where I just push a button, it sucks back up in the unit. Awesome. Like electric dump valves, right? It doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's kind of nice. It's just all these little things that make RV life a little easier. So I feel like we have the same mentality. It's like, how do we just keep improving on the product? Now, luckily for us, we don't have to physically build something. That God bless them, like that's out of my mind can't even process how that works. but on the technological side, we can kind of try to keep improving the code at least.
Yep.
Excellent.
Sounds good. Well, Joel, hopefully we'll see you soon at a campground. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me back.
We'll keep sharing. We have a discount for Harvest Host membership.
Right.
So, and we have an affiliate with Escapees too, right?
I believe so.
Well, welcome back. By the way, we didn't mean to. Some of you may not have known that Escapees is now part of Harvest Host, and you just fell out of your little chairs. And as we said when we were talking to Joel, whenever we see Joel and his team touch things, they make them better, and so we have such admiration for how they do things. Mm-hmm. So, as he said, they're going to kind of wait and see if there are probably technological improvements to Escapees.
Sure.
And a lot of the good will probably stay the same or get better. And so we're looking forward to seeing it. But
I like that he has the whole staff that did the membership stuff now as part of his staff. Yeah. It's not like the Harvest Host staff is going to try to take over doing the Escapees things.
Right. Yeah. They kept everybody. They're now on their payroll and all of that. So they just do a good job. So if you're not a member of Escapees, it's a great organization to be part of. And we have an episode where we talked to Escapees.
So I want to thank Joel again. And even though we kind of talk so much about Harvest Host, you don't need an advertisement for Harvest Host, but I think their Harvest Host ads are so hilarious. So here comes one.
Yeah.
It started with the cramping. Getting it out can be really uncomfortable. That's when the real plumbing issues happen.
Do you experience moderate to severe cramping at busy camping locations? Does your boondocking anxiety keep you from trying somewhere new? You could be suffering from IBS, intimidated boondocker syndrome. But Harvest Host can help. Harvest Host is a network of more than 5,000 small businesses coast to coast, where you can spread out and stay overnight at spacious farms, wineries, breweries, and attractions.
Who knew boondocking could be so easy? We looked, we booked, we stayed. Talk about immediate relief.
Now that I don't live with IBS, I'm back to loving RV life.
We're back to loving RV life.
Find the cure for your IBS at harvesthosts.com. Harvest Hosts, uncramp how you camp.
Yep. And of course, don't forget we have a discount for a Harvest Host membership. And there is a QR code if you're watching this. But of course, that is available at our home on the web. So if you're thinking of becoming a Harvest Host member, we have a discount.
That's right. So we are packing up our gear to go tent camping.
Yeah, it's going to be an intense experience.
It will be an intense experience. We are going to just go for one night, couple days. We're going up to Cheyenne, Washington, because
Washington.
How about this? We're going to head up to Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Oh, I wondered if they hadn't moved it.
Which is the home of the Big Boy steam locomotive.
The Big Boy is the largest operating steam locomotive in the world right now. And Union Pacific bought it against, we used to go to the Pomona Fairgrounds where they had it. And they said, oh, one of these days somebody's going to buy it and restore it. And I said, yeah, and perhaps monkeys are going to fly out of my ears.
Hold your ears. Here come the
hold your
monkeys.
ears. Yeah. So anyway, they've been operating it for a while now.
And so it recently took a trip. It went from Cheyenne, Wyoming, where it lives, to California, and it's on its way back. And Friday, the day after you hear or see this, it will be returning to Cheyenne. So Thursday night, the day that you hear or see this, well, maybe if you listen on the first day. Anyway, the day that this releases, we will be going camping in Wyoming. And because we don't have a camp trailer right now, we are tent camping. So we have been packing into the truck our cots and our
Lippert pop-up portable gazebo.
That's right. We'll use that for a tent.
Or 6-sided tent. We have a privy bivy, which is a toilet tent or shower tent.
Yep.
We have a toilet.
We're
going to use our induction cooktop, our portable power stations to run the induction cooktop. I think I already said that. So when we bought the flated truck camper, our goal was to go overlanding.
Right.
And so we're finally doing it.
We're finally getting around to it.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we won't sleep in the camper. I mean, unless maybe I looked at the weather. This is not supposed to happen, but I guess if it rains, we might be crawling into the truck topper. But we are going to sleep in the tent. When we got the Lippert pop-up gazebo, which is a screen tent, we got the sides that we can Velcro on the outside for privacy. So that
we don't want to scare anybody at the
scare people
campground.
away. And so we've been gathering up all that gear, that we've been talking about for 5 years, all those things. And we're toting it into the back of the truck, and we're going to go tent camping.
Yeah. So we'll obviously, that's probably what next week's episode is going to be about, but who knows?
Right.
But we'll definitely have video. So if you follow us on social media, you'll see some updates.
Yeah.
And if it was successful, you'll see cheers. And if it wasn't
successful, you might not see much about it.
Yeah.
We will not be in our mini light, and we will also not be in what?
Oh, gosh, this week's RV. Sorry. Just missed that cue. The Brinkley Model Z 2900. And Joel said he bought a Brinkley.
Yeah.
He said that, and that's all I wanted to talk about. But, squirrel. But now let's talk about. Now, his is much larger version than this. This is now their smallest fifth wheel. And Brinkley is a company that when I went to open house, the other RV companies, you almost didn't want to say the name Brinkley in front of them because it's almost like a bad word, because they have just done so much to stand out from the crowd. Starting with the outside, they are very clean looking, almost automotive grade looking exteriors. Their plumbing, this is what really gets me. Their plumbing, they use brass fittings. Of course, it's still PEX, and it's got a shutoff for every fixture. So if your kitchen sink develops a leak, for example, that you can just shut just that off and keep camping. If your toilet, or in our case, our water heater, develops a leak, you just shut it off and keep going. And I don't think it will. It's not probably as likely to leak because it's just good fittings. But there's so many things they're doing. For example, more and more of us are getting some sort of connectivity thing, Starlink, whatever. Well, they put a port in the roof of the thing to run cables down. It's just so much attention to detail that I think the rest of the RV industry really needs to pay attention to. So this Model Z 2900, for example, there's a table type of arrangement that's on the side of the trailer, and it's got almost a tongue sticking out, and you can move it back and forth. So you can make an L-shaped table. You can make a table where your two people are facing each other. You can make two desks. So it's just a lot of thinking outside the box from this company, and then specifying the better products when there are choices, which is something we've said about Rockwood, right? When they have a choice of the cheapest whatever or the best whatever. They tend to favor the best whatever. Now, that's how their smallest fifth wheel has an MSRP of about $100,000. So they're not cheap, but nothing good's ever cheap. Nothing cheap's ever good. So buy the best and cry only once is something I like to say. And I have a link to the review of this trailer, full review. And that one is at rvtravel.com. And if you're watching this, there'll be a QR code. But gosh, really, they've done a great job. And they're just shaking up the industry. And it's what happens when the people who make the decisions are actually campers.
Yeah. So there you go, Brian.
Yeah, Brian shared the review in our Facebook group.
So this week I've seen a few people having to change tires on the side of the road. And Scott and Larry and I forget who else. I'm sorry that you had to do that in the heat and all that. But it just makes me want to remind everybody to get out there and check your tires before you get on the road so that you don't end up with tire failure. I said to Alicia, this is a club I do not want to join, having to limp off the highway, a busy highway, to change a tire. So do all that you can to make sure that doesn't happen. Check everything out. Get your tire pressure monitoring systems.
If you don't have a tire pressure monitoring system, get one, especially on a towable. It's just such a safety consideration. And if you're running any of the cheap, I call them Maypop tires, they should really call them Will Pop tires, that a lot of RV manufacturers put. By the way, that's not true of the Brinkley either. They're putting G-rated tires on there. Anyway, if you're, like, what is it, like Castle Rock or any of these cheap tire brands, just go get Goodyears. I mean, well,
at least monitor.
Go get Goodyears.
Yeah, but
yeah, monitor.
Yeah.
So anyway,
until you get to the place where you can put on Goodyear.
Or I think Carlisle are pretty good too. Yeah. So
anyway, check your tires, watch your tires.
We spoke with Goodyear a while back. We'll put a link to that too.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So last week on the question of the week, we asked you, what changes have you been through in the past 10 years? We asked that because we talked to Mark and Julie from RV Love about their 10-year anniversary of RVing and they're doing their thing. And so I thought it would be kind of fun to hear from all of you. We had a lot.
It has been fun.
It has been fun. We've seen a lot of retirements and a lot of grandchildren. So congratulations to all of you.
Yeah.
We've seen empty nesters. We've seen new full-timers, people who sold their house, maybe because it was an empty nest or for other reasons. We have seen some widows and widowers, and my heart goes out to you, but also I'm so glad to see that you have continued to camp. We have seen people go from tents to pop-ups to travel trailers, and some have gone from travel trailers to pop-ups to tents.
Yeah, it goes. People go up and down the size
some
scale.
Smaller rigs, especially people who have become empty nesters or whatever, have gone to a smaller rig. Not RV related, our friend Mireya said she had to stop running, like physically jogging, running, but she did run for local office, and I think that the local area was better for that.
Oh, Mireya is doing a super job.
She's terrific. I was going to write a brief, what we've done in the past 10 years, and I found that when I start to write things, I can't stop making words, and so it was over 600 words. I didn't think that was something I wanted to post as a response. And so I put it as an article on the website. So there will be a link, or you can see the link in the Facebook group or wherever if you want to hear more about what Tony and I have been up to for the past 10 years, from innkeepers to podcasters.
Yeah, we're double podcasters, sort of. So anyway, what is the question of this week? The question for this week, are you an escapee? Yeah, are you a member of that club?
And have you attended any escapees events? And obviously that question comes from our interview today.
Right, of course. So we'd love to hear back what your feedback is. And
tell us about events that you've gone to, because we are really excited to do that.
Yeah. Joel said we're looking for your input. So you're also welcome to share your experience as being an escapee. If you are, and if you aren't, I think we have a discount for that too. And that you can answer at our fun and friendly StressLess Campers Facebook group.
Indeed. You can also, of course, go to StressLessCamping.com and sign up for our once a week free newsletter.
We have links to the stories and videos and podcasts that we think will help you get the most out of your RV experience. So all you have to do is visit our website, and at the bottom of any page, you can sign up with your email. And we only send it once a week because we're too lazy to do more than that.
Too busy.
Too busy, yeah.
That's the word.
That's it. Yeah. And we never share your information. That would just be rude.
That would not be okay.
So, not cool.
You will also find on the website show notes for this episode, which is number 265. I can't see it that way.
Yeah, it's 265
on the podcast page. And also on the podcast page, of course, we always tell you and remind you about the deals and discounts page for the best deals on things you'll need for your StressLess camping adventure.
Yep, and if you've got a great deal for our audience, let us know. We very closely vet these, so it's only stuff that we fully believe in and, if possible, use ourselves, right? But that's the deal. So we're all ears, which looks funny, but that's the way it is. And we're also in all the social places, and you can start at StressLessCamping.com.
And then you can jump off to all the social places.
Wow, that's
I'm not going to try to list them anymore.
Of course, if
I don't know what they
don't
are.
want to miss a future episode of the StressLess Camping.
No, it's not Stressly.
If you don't want to miss a future episode of the StressLess Camping podcast, it's free to subscribe on any podcast app.
And we are saving you a seat around our virtual campfire.
Of course, the review will help others find this podcast, and the more listeners we have, the better the deals and discounts we get.
And we can continue to get terrific guests.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're pretty fortunate. Oh,
yeah.
Gosh, this is our 6th year now.
6th year.
Craziness.
Yep.
Hey, did you hear something you liked? Share what you find on our website or on our podcast or whatever with your friends on social media. And if you need help knowing how to share, well, we have tips. And if you're watching this, the tips are here. So there you go. Well, with that, hopefully this has been a great week for you. We really appreciate you being here once again. And most of all,
StressLess camping.
Have fun storming the castle.